most simple way to put it is it's life journey. Nobody signs up to be broken. You know, brokenness is real. Lawlessness brings about brokenness and continues to bring a broken generation until somebody breaks the curse off of it. So I've ended up breaking the curse off of my children's life. You know, they're not broken. My kids never suffered. My kids went to private school. My kids live behind community gates. They never experienced life like I did. They never experienced rejection from me as a father because I went through that myself personally. So you can either use your life to be an example to help somebody else, or you can use your life and call yourself a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm an overcomer. I can sit in the victim mentality all I want, and if I do, I'm never going to get anywhere. I didn't sit in the victim mentality. I came to a place to be an overcomer, to achieve more than what I achieved on the baseball field. I've achieved more in my personal life than I've achieved as a baseball player. You know, I achieved going on from what I went through, my addiction, ending up in a Florida State prison because of addiction with a T17169. See, God was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. God was stopping me at every point to slow me down till I would get to the place where I would be transformed and he would use me for his glory. He would take my mess of who I was and turn it into a message to bring it to help somebody else. So I now get to help a multitude of people. I didn't sign up to be a preacher. I didn't go to school to be a preacher. God called me from a pit and put me in a pulpit. You know, but I finally answered the call. But it wasn't me. It was people that God used around me. He used my mother, who was praying for me when I was living the heathen lifestyle, rich, famous, living behind community gates. She was on her face. She was dying. She died at the age of 55 from terminal breast cancer. And she was dying, and she was praying for me when I was living the heathen lifestyle. She was praying that God would save me, and God would save me and stop me. And then he'd take my wife, Tracy, who he would use her to lead me back into church, to get my life into a place where I'm at today, where I would sit for 7 years to be discipled, and then he would ordain me and anoint me, and he would call me to be evangelist and travel the nation and preach the gospel. So there is always a plan for all of us. It's just a matter of answering the call. You know, it wasn't until I finally decided to answer the call, like I said, because I thought clearly when God called me 17 years ago to preach, I was like, you got the wrong guy. He was like, no, I got the right guy. I was like, I'm not qualified. He said, no one's qualified. I qualified the call. And that's what happened in my life. He qualified the call, and he gave me his gift, and I went on from there. And I've been preaching for the last 17 years and growing and helping people everywhere. I mean, I get to go do some really cool things, you know, where people would say, well, how did you go? I mean, I get to go into prisons, maximum security prisons, and preach to men about pain, about brokenness, about life. And I get to go see what death row looks like. I get to do some things that I never could imagine if I was just strictly focused on baseball.